Hey guys, it is July the 9th of 2023, and I want to go over the dollar, energy sector, and the metals. So without any further delay, let's get into it. We're going to start off with crude. As you can see, crude has been in chop fest, holding on to this 50%, 68 and 50 cents. And this is the weekly chart, and you can see that we're in a squeeze play, but it hasn't really resolved to the downside nor to the upside, just been going sideways. So it's too early to tell where the explosion is coming, but as of now, the weekly is getting a little stronger. You got a PPS buy signal. And notice this pattern. Every time we close above the mobile band, this is a weekly candle. The next week, it dips in. This one we had one close above, 1 week. Second week was positive. The third week was brought right back in. Same thing here. Close 1 week below the mobile bands. Second week, and then it came right back in. So this is an indication of just chop fest. It's undecided where it wants to go. Let's see if we could get this week positive, close above the mobile bands, maybe a pullback, and then close, test this. Second week close above the mobile band. And let's get a third week close above the mobile band. And it changes the pattern here a little bit. And if we could go into another fourth week, it could be greater the possibilities that we may test this 84 at least. But at least let's get 3 weeks out of the mobile bands. And I get on this chop fest. So I'm watching crude. So here's what I show you the pattern. Short term time frame is positive. Path of least resistance to the upside. Got a squeeze play on both time frames. So keep that on your radar if you trade crude. In regards to RBOB, same thing. It's in a squeeze play on the weekly, but not on the daily. But you got, positive here on the daily chart. And these are the ranges that we're in, 225 all the way to 289. And it's the same thing here, although it hasn't closed above the mobile bands. It's compared to crude, but it looks like it wants to. And if it's going to go up, your next target will be somewhere around 275 all the way to 282 to 289. Natural gas, you already know my thoughts on that. I did a video on that yesterday. Squeeze play on the weekly. It looks like it wants to explode to the upside. So I got a nice little pullback. Let's see how this week plays out. Maybe if it retraces more, finds a support somewhere, then goes back up. Or it may just turn around really quickly for this week and continue grinding higher. We'll see. In the short term, the daily chart is a little weaker. PPS sell signal. So if it pushes lower, 252 all the way to 239. So the next pivot supports that I see. Heating oil, interesting. You can see that it's breaking out of this consolidation pattern. It's at 248. Let's open this up a little more. So this is a weekly. So we got a PPS buy signal. It pulls back. And now it's pushing higher. So this is a perfect example of the PPS buy signal. When you get that signal, it pops. You wait for that pullback. Look at the shorter time frame, the 30, the 5 minute, whatever your trading strategy is. You want to look at when that pullback and when it finds support. You get in right there. You with the buy signal. And this is a perfect example of a PPS buy signal. When it retraces, that's when you get in. And then you ride it up. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it just pushes lower and it doesn't work out. That's why you have to always put your stop somewhere. And, manage your risk and your strategy and whatever, system you trade. But that's the creator of this system. That's how he indicated it to be and taught it that way. So that's why I like to use it. In regards to the daily, you can see that, you hit this pivot high, pull back. Now hit this pivot high. Let's see if we could close above 256. If we could have a close and test it, back test it, and then grind higher, it's always going to test 272. Let's go to the metals real quick. As you know, I was long gold and I got stopped out around 1960, somewhere around here. You can see this trend line, and it's I thought I was gonna respect it and trend higher and at least test 278, but it went against me and stopped me out, so it was a loss. But you can see that gold has been, pushing lower, kind of fall, sideways here. But the histogram is just telling you that the pressure, there's weakness in the dollar. And on the daily, this is the range you're in, 1942 all the way to 1900, and it's still not positive yet. So I will be on the sidelines and see, wait to gold, see what he wants to do. But so far, it's not looking good. I have to look at the seasonalities in the cycle. Silver, same thing. I have some trend lines here. You can see it's stalling here, and it's in a wedge. And it's just kind of going sideways here in between these two ranges, 26.43 and 22.78. And it bounced right back in. So I'm just keeping it on the radar. On the daily, it's kind of positive but very choppy. You got a PPS buy signal. No squeeze play here. But very, very choppy price action. Heating oil, copper, 407, 408. And it's just wants to go up there and it fails. So now it's in this wedge. So something has to give. You're on a squeeze play and it's either going to break to the downside. It's going to decide somewhere around here once it wants to go, but it's just not decided yet. So we just have to wait and see between the bulls and the bears fighting. And then the daily just chop, still negative, noise. It hasn't decided where it wants to go. It's at 368 all the way to 396 range. Just going sideways. Platinum looked like it was grinding higher, 1, 2, 3 or ABC, and broke this trend line right here. And now it's finding support at this pivot right here, which is at 902. See if that holds. If that doesn't hold, obviously going to test 796 on the weekly. You can see that this trend line was broken. And on the daily, you can see that it's just now chop fest down here between these two pivots of 935 to 894. Like a nice, got a little bump, but then it's just a noise fest. Let's look at palladium. Palladium just fell out of bed. This is one I was been watching, but I haven't done any cycle work on it because I'm just watching the weekly, and it got this bounce, but then took out this low, and now it's pushing lower. So is this the low? I don't know. 1331 was taken out, and now it's 1204. And nothing positive. Nothing is positive here. The weekly isn't a squeeze play. It looks like the pressure is to the downside, and that's manifesting right here. I wanted to go and look at the dollar. Someone's been asking me about the dollar. Hopefully I have time to cover the dollar. So look at that. The dollar got this nice little bounce, retested the 50. And you can see you got a ninth Tom DeMarc candle and now push lower. PPS sell signal, broke the mobile bands. And going back to test 102.86. So that's a 1, 2, and maybe a 3 or ABC coming down to go test at least 100. I have a target of 98, and I still, I'm leaning on that all the way down here. 98 is my target. So if this is all just this thing, then it's just going to go like that. Then, I'm waiting for gold to go up. Silver, some of the metals to start moving if this is going to play out to 98. But so far, this is what the dollar is showing, and this is a strong level. We'll look at some other levels I wanted to show you, so I'm going to focus on the dollar. Let's go over here. As you can see, this is a strong level in the cloud, that 104. You can see it stopped it right on its tracks. Interesting price action right there. And the point of control is 103.56, and it's still about to break the mobile band. And you got the 100 SMA coming up. You got the value area low, which is a 101 right here. So this is support. The MACD is negative on the monthly. Last month was positive. There's a pivot here. I think this is the midpoint pivot, 104.23. Point of control on the monthly is 102.17. And it looks like this monthly candle now is starting to look negative. And we're still kind of hovering around the 102 point of control on the monthly. Ideally, if this pushes lower, the place you want to get in or start nibbling or getting your toes wet on the dollar was when we hit this linear regression channel and this strong level right here. This would be a good area. And that's somewhere around 95, 98, somewhere around here, which lines up with the 50. But, you know, it could push lower than 98. That's just a target I have using one of Gann's technique. But we got to keep an eye on that. But it's a slow dinosaur. You can see this level is strong, 102, just pretty much 102. And it's just chopping around here. This is 102 right here. It's just hovering in this area. MACD is negative on the daily. PPS Celsius, it looks like it wanted to get out of the cloud. You got the value area high to get the linear regression channels pointing down. So it's more like going like this, or maybe this, and then going like that. You know, it's going to be in this range, you know, with probability. And, you know, it's below the cloud now. And this is a strong level, 102.74, and it failed. So it doesn't look too good. And either, however, you know, the market sentiment is at 44. The MACD is just turned negative price action. So let's see how that's going to play out. I want to go into the midpoint chart. As you can see, the 104 fail. That's the 50%. We're here. There's a little to the 94. It's the next low. On the monthly, we failed the midpoint, which is 103.21. Next support would be 101.92. It could get there, and once it gets there, see it lines up here. Let's see what's going to happen, but that's the target, you know, the bigger target for now. And for the week, let's open this up a little bit. For the week, we closed at 102.26. You know, but it's going to push higher and retrace, squeeze some bulls, 102.89, but if it fails there, then it's going to test 102, and next support be 101.89 and 101.53 for possible support or targets to the downside. And that's for the whole week. You know, so this is going to be key, 102. If we could close above 102.89, you know, then that's positive on the weekly. But so far it's negative because it's below it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it, you know, retraces and fails. So this will probably be a good area to short if it fails and push lower if it's going to bounce. This is a nice little drop. In regards to the daily, the midpoint is 102.71, which is somewhere around here. So you got this little range. And for Monday, if it's going to targets to the downside is 101.99 and then 101.75 to the downside. Short term target, if it's going to pop anywhere between 102.71 and the 102.89. And that's it for me. I'm going to sign out. Hope you like this video. Let me know your thoughts on the dollar, on the energy, and the metals. But I'm watching gold, and this dollar continues going down. You know, I'm waiting for gold to move higher, but it hasn't done that yet.